Hello, good afternoon. This is the instant match reaction. Newcastle United 0, Everton 1. I did say in the preview that we were going to win. People thought I was messing. People thought I was joking. People thought I was, I don't know what people thought. Newcastle fans didn't take kindly. And it proved rightly. I knew we were going to win today. Unfortunately, Villa cocked up. But who cares? Listen, we won the game up to 48 points. Clean sheet. Good stuff. A good afternoon. What an excellent performance, by the way. A lot of people thought, today would be after the Lord Mayor parade last week. A lot of people thought Newcastle were just going to come and destroy us today. And they didn't. They absolutely didn't. I think people thought when they saw our back four that Newcastle were just going to absolutely run away from us today. But they didn't. We got through, the first 20 minutes or whatever, quietened the crowd down. And once we done that, we started growing into the game, and we had a few opportunities, Of course, Jordan Pickford had to make a few saves like you'd expect him to do. That's what he's there for. He's a goalkeeper. But, we had some really good opportunities, including the Alcaraz header in the first half, Beto's header that he's put over, James Garner's shot that the keepers had to make a save from. And it followed suit in the second half. They took Anthony Gordon off because he was getting absolutely zero change out of Ashley Young. And in fact, had to blatantly dive to get anything from him all day. And then we went on into the second half, and again, we had a few chances. Pope had to make another good save, and then in the end, we've broke really well all day, by the way. But we've broke, and I think it was a Michalenko cross, wasn't it? And Thiago Alcaraz has stuck it into the back of the net. Beautiful stuff. And after that, we should have gone on and won it more. Beto had a decent opportunity. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has an absolutely fantastic opportunity later on, and he's got the whole goal to aim for, and somehow it's Pope's chest. But we should have won that game comfortably in the end. Easily, comfortably. Easily. I don't know why the commentators or anyone else was shocked. We should have won that comfortably. We deserved the win today. Just for the way we turned up, just for the way we played last game. Nothing to play for. Couldn't go up, couldn't go down. But we've put out another really good tactical performance away from home. And we finished the season with 48 points, which is exactly what we earned last season, which is nice. And yeah, the results have been, under David Moyes, have been staggering. When you look at the difference between the first half of the season and the second half of the season, to finish on 48 points when he came in and he had 17 points. That's if you can match that, you get into the 60s. That's Europe, isn't it? To think that what did the Champions League positions ends up 66 points. That's absolutely fantastic. Doesn't mean it'll be mirrored next year, but that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, just a really, really good win today. Just a really good win. And I know, listen, they got Champions League in the end, but I'm not really that bothered. I'm not really bothered who gets what. The end of the day, it's about Everton, isn't it? It's about looking at Everton and thinking, where can we go? What can we do? What can we do with our season? What can we do next season? Where can we go? And David Moyes has proved with what he's had so far that he can do a lot more than some managers anyway. So it was also a sad day. We're obviously losing some of our players. Ashley Young played his last game. Decore came on and said his farewells at the end. But it's a chance to revitalise the squad, isn't it? And Charlie Alcaraz will be the perfect one, won't he? I think to bring in, and the sooner the better for me. Just get him in as quickly as possible. Get him in. I think he's proved. I think he grew into the game today and started contributing. Very unlucky with that header, but in the first half. But the second one was Tim KLS, wasn't it? Tim KLS, the way he scored that goal. And he could be a really, really important signing. So let's get him done and dusted really, really early. And we'll find out tomorrow what else we want. We want Adesanya Gay signed up. He was brilliant again today. Even though we got that booking in the first half, he managed the game brilliantly. And midfield is a really important position for Newcastle. It's where they're really, really strong. But I think he showed today how important he is. And hopefully he signs that contract. Michael Keane was brilliant as well. Him and Jake O'Brien were brilliant today. They coped with everything. So Michael Keane, I think he'll sign. That's just a good feeling, by the way, but I think he'll sign another season. And that's him. He's done back-to-back performances away from home, hasn't he? Against Fulham and against Newcastle. So if they've offered him a contract, fine. I've got no problem with that if he's the fourth choice centre-back, having that experience to come in and doing a job. I've got no problem with that. And it's continuity, I suppose, if we are losing some of the other players like Ashley Young. I would have loved Ashley Young to stay, but if he wanted something different, then that's fine. He might have other offers, as I'm sure Decore's got other offers. Then that's fine. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, we've got no idea on. Let's see how it go. Either way, it's one or the other. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, and it was nice to see Michalenko get another assist. Very solid all day. Spoke about it in the preview. Spoke about it in the starting 11. How they used their width. I didn't think they did much at all from the wide positions today. Certainly not running at our players. They put crosses in, but they didn't get beyond our players. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But that was a really, really good performance from Everton today. It really was. And as I said, that will have surprised a few people. I'm sure, listen, the media will be delighted that they've got into Europe, into the Champions League. I mean, Villa have been absolutely robbed, by the way. Villa have been absolutely robbed today. If anyone has seen that, what happened at Old Trafford, they've been absolutely robbed. And it will be the major talking point for a very long time, that goal that they've been taking. But listen, that's up to them, isn't it? That's up to them. Villa have missed out. Newcastle have got through. That's football, isn't it? That's football, but we've done our bit. We took 4 points off them this season. Yardy on the Super Chat said, had £50 on the boys today at 8-1. Ching ching, so a drink. And a Mars for Baz. Just for Baz. Feels a bit harsh. I've got me drink here. Flavoured water. I've got a bit of a sore throat. So, which I blame Baz for, because he brought illness into the studio last week. And I was a bit weak yesterday, so I think it's developed in me. That's on Baz. I've got my water. Few other things from today. I thought Beto back to goal. A lot better today. Just a lot better. Holding on to the ball, bringing players into the team. So I thought he was, a 0% Guinness. Thank you. I thought he was a lot better. And I think if they can work with him over the summer, there's an opportunity there, isn't it? But if they can bring Lee and Delap in, which we'll wait and see. I'm not utterly convinced when you look at the teams that are in for him. But if we could bring him in and we have that competition, we spoke about it on Friday. If we could bring in competition for Beto, if Dom stays, if that means Chimiti goes out on loan, the manager clearly doesn't think Chimiti's anywhere near ready yet, does he? Doesn't think he's anywhere near ready. But I've been impressed, by the way. I have been impressed by Beto's development. They've obviously been working on him, which again, I don't think they were working on him before. The manager before was working on him. Remember when he used to tell us about those fine details? And we used to say, how come you haven't got more coaches? Well, Moyes' decision to have 5 coaches? Is it 5 coaches? I think is paid off massively. I think that shouldn't go overlooked, because I think those coaches, it means having more coaches means you can develop players individually. And I know people sniggered at Charlie Adam being a set-piece coach, but Charlie Adam being a set-piece coach, whether you think he's done a good job or not, and he has been linked with a manager's job today, meant that they didn't have to work on the set-pieces and they could all do their jobs. So if that means that Leighton Baines is working with the wide men and the full-backs, and that means that, other coaches are working with Beto or whatever, and they're giving those individual... when you think about a goalkeeper as a goalkeeper coach, how many times we said it? How many times were we saying about having a striker coach? But it seems that having more coaches means that they've been able to do it more individual coaching. And I think you can see it with Beto. I really do think you can see it with Beto. They've been working on it. Moyes hasn't always had the greatest track record with strikers, but I think making them better where it matters, I think you can see that. And I think you can see that with Beto. I think in the last few weeks, I think you can see the other side of his game. And I thought that was really important today. And maybe it's been since the Chelsea game. Maybe since the Chelsea game, they've gone, we really have to knuckle down with this player and really, really start. And Moyes has said that, hasn't he? He said it himself about working with him, how hard he works. And he also said that, Beto was honest about himself. And I think that's also a massive thing, because if players think they're the finished article, they aren't willing to take on board criticism. And I think Beto probably been very honest about himself and thought, I can be better. And I think you can notice the difference. I really do. I think they have to work with him on it. It's mad that actually in the air, he doesn't time his jumps, and he tends to get under the ball. I think if they could work with him in the summer on that, bring Dunk back to work with him about his timing, because the amount of balls that he heads over, we see 1 or 2 every single week, and he had one today. If they worked on him in his aerial stuff, he'd get so many more goals, because he's massive. He's massive. So yeah, do that. But I think the individual training's worked off massively. I really do. So, yeah, I don't think anyone had a bad game. Maybe Jack Harrison wasn't great, but we'll talk more about that when I do the play ratings. But no, listen, brilliant. What a way to cap off the season. I think everyone's so positive now, aren't they? Everyone's buzzing. Everyone's buzzing for the new stadium. Everyone's buzzing to see what we can do next season. Everyone's buzzing for new signings. I think we've got to just be positive about whatever happens. Whatever happens tomorrow, whoever leaves, whoever stays, let's just be positive about it. Um, because I think the most important thing is if people do stay, and it would be good, is you can build on that. Yes, people leaving gives us an opportunity, but I think people staying gives us more of an opportunity. Because now that we know Decore's gone, and now that we know that Ashley Young's gone, and obviously a couple of the goalies have gone, I think I don't really want to see too many more leave. If they do, they do. But I don't want to see too many more leave. I'd rather they stayed and we built on that. I'd rather they stayed and they built on what we've got right now. Because there's a real opportunity to build on. Because, of course, you'd imagine Harrison's going to go back and Lindstrom's going to go back. So there's another two. And the likes of Ashley Young, Decore, Harrison, they do start games, obviously. Andy Folks on the Super Chat says, 3 starter signings in the summer. Who do we need? Well, I don't know about who do we need, but obviously we need a right winger. Probably need another centre forward. Well, we will need another centre forward. And we need another centre midfielder. We need another right back as well, I imagine. But I think it's important that it is important that people stay, because we need like 3 or 4 new first teamers, like really good. But the more first teamers we need, the less quality they'll have. And this is why now I'll be happy to see Keane stay and Dominic Calvert-Lewin stay and Adesina Gay stay. I mean, Adesina Gay, no matter what, for me, has to stay. But for me, I do want Dom to stay. I want Adesina to stay. And I've been convinced that probably Michael Keane staying is probably for the best if he's 4th choice. Because then we can go out and try and get 3 or 4 really, really quality players. And we're not cutting into a budget by bringing in more and more squad players. And I think that's what's got to be realised. And obviously, you add Harrison Armstrong onto that. Obviously, we need a couple of goalkeepers. So if we do that, I think that's the best thing. Personally, for me, I don't know. I'm not going to have the Dom thing again. I just think it's pointless. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is never going to get the wages that he wants. And Everton will pay him whatever they think he's worth. And if he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. As I said, I think if he stays, we're still after the centre forward. It doesn't matter. I don't know why people think that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to be this automatic starter. Everton have already put it out there that they want Liam Delap. If they want Liam Delap, they want Liam Delap to be the starter. That's straight away what Everton want. They want Liam Delap to come, and the way they're going to try and get him to come is by saying to him, "You're starting. You're not starting at Chelsea. You're not starting at Manchester United. You're starting here." And that's how they're going to try and convince him. So straight away, that tells you where David Moyes is. He sees a Liam Delap as the person who's going to lead the line for him, who's got a bit of pace, who's decent in the air. And then that'll be Beto challenging him and whoever else. And if it's Everton have offered, I think, a contract to Dom. But as I said, Liam Delap is the one they want. So I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry too much about the other stuff. And it'll be up to players to fight for the position. And that's surely all we want. We want players to fight for the position. You know, I want a centre midfielder to push James Garner's nose out of joint. and to try and push Tim Boonham on and try and, if he's still here, make a Disagana, get into the team so a Disagana gay. So it will be interesting. Come on, seriously, right? Seriously, this we cannot have Liverpool fans in the comments. We honestly, that can't be real. It can't be real that there's Liverpool fans in the comments. That can't be real. Really, come on. There can't be Liverpool fans in the comments. Don't get me wrong. I was suspecting that they would, and I was really hoping they would. But come on, there really can't be Liverpool fans in the comments, because that would be absolutely hilarious. That would say it all, wouldn't it? If there was Liverpool fans in the comments. Oh, brilliant. Imagine winning the league, getting the trophy, and coming in our comments. That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, incredible. Let me have some water. That's incredible. It doesn't surprise me. That's the point. It doesn't surprise me. That's the funny bit. That's literally the funny bit. That's actually funny. Never mind. Don't know the way to Anfield. They don't know the way to their own channels. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Anyway, listen, we'll find out tomorrow, won't we? God, I just had a drink in my throat. We'll find out tomorrow, won't we? Who's staying? But the point being like this, I think this is what's got to happen, right? I think this is what's got to happen. Whoever stays, right? I think we all have to get behind them, by the way. So, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin does stay, and listen, I don't know if he is or if he isn't. I obviously haven't been at the game today, but I was asking people at the game what the vibe was like, and there was only the core, I think, who came over and sort of said his goodbyes. So we won't know till tomorrow what's going on. But I do think, right, that if Dominic Calvert-Lewin stays, I do think people have to just put the other stuff away. And I think we have to just support what's going on. If they've offered him a contract and he signs it, and there's no guarantees that that's going to happen, and it's probably more likely that you would think that he won't. But if he does stay, I think people have to just go, right, he's an Everton player. This manager has decided that he wants him to stay, and we just get behind it. And I think that's the same for anything, whether if Michael Keane stays, if the manager's offered him a contract and he wants him to stay, I think people just have to make their peace with that. I think that just has to happen. People just have to make their peace with it, whether they like it or whether they don't like it. By the way, I will not be in the studio tomorrow. Nobody's going to be, there'll be no shows tomorrow. Me and James are having the day off. Absolutely 100% having the day off. So there'll be no final word tomorrow. There'll be no nothing tomorrow. There is zero from us tomorrow. even though those decisions are being made, apparently. I mean, if Everton could hold off till Tuesday at about 12:30, that would be great on those contract situations. So that would be great. I'd appreciate that. Because, yeah. But anyway. But whatever happens, right, with the contracts, it is, James, it is in the calendar. I wiped the calendar clean. I wiped that calendar clean. There is nothing on it. Right. And because it's been wiped clean, John Blaine knows not to come in. I would say I'd make it up to you, but I won't. I just not going to be anywhere. If I go to work tomorrow, I wouldn't make it back to my house. So, yeah. So, yeah, whatever happens tomorrow, it happens, doesn't it? If it's announced tomorrow that Everton that players are staying, then so be it. I think we just have to get behind it. Just have to get behind it, put it to bed, and that's good. And whatever happens, if the players leave, then the players have left, then we draw a line under those players as well, don't we? And that's why it's better to find out tomorrow, so we know what's going on, and it's better for everyone. But I personally hope that the ones that are left do all sign contracts now, because I think it's important to have certain amount from from this season going into next season, that continuity, and then we bring in 3 or 4 or 5 first teamers who can start getting into that side for next season. So that's my opinion. We just draw a line under it tomorrow. We'll see what will happen. Listen, it's a bank holiday in the UK. Go out and enjoy yourselves. Go and escape. No, I will not be in this country tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. I will not be in this country. I am evacuating. Almost like a child in the Second World War, I will be evacuating. I will be getting out of this city for sure. No, there'll be no tip. There'll be no tip runs tomorrow. They will just be getting out of the city. So, I will be going to the nearest country. Just getting out. And then back at it on Tuesday. Me and James. Baz has already left the country. He's already escaped. No matter what, how Everton's season finished, Baz was not going to be here for it. So, which is kind of mad. Yeah. So, yeah, just going to escape. Just going to escape for the day. Hopefully, my throat will have improved a little bit. Just in my throat. Just in my throat there. Oh, it's just horrible. It just feels like it's closing over. It's closing a little bit. I'm sorry that it's not a bank holiday anywhere else. I really am. But it's a bank holiday here, unfortunately. And yeah. Well, not unfortunately, but it is what it is. Anyway, I've been talking for half an hour. So, right, I will be back in a very, very short time, because I can just want this done and dusted, and then it's done, innit? I'll be back for my play ratings. Please come back. Not enough of you come back when I do my play ratings. You all drift away. Come back for my play ratings in a minute. I'll be back as soon as I've done a thumbnail for it. I don't think there'll be any Baz videos, because he didn't see the match. He was literally living on me sending him and James sending him stuff on WhatsApp. So, right, I'll be back very, very, very shortly. So stick around. Wait for the notification. It will not be long. See you in a minute.